I have given this talk before, but I kind of modified it just in case anybody here has heard me talk about our success story at Miramax. We were, I have been in IT for longer, seriously, for about 35 years. I have seen a dramatic change in technology. Um, I am always amazed at how I embrace it and always have, and I love the change and how some of the younger people coming right out of college are already telling me what they're used to. I find that very, very humorous because I know by the time they retire, it will look completely different. So the embracing of the cloud, and you've further defined it for me. I mean, I do call it the cloud. When Miramax was basically we started out in about 2010. A bunch of investors bought the library back from Disney and as a standalone library, and we had a conference room in a company called Colony Capital, which is one of our investors. And we had no infrastructure, we had nothing, but we had 700 titles, and we had a ton of metadata and assets that we needed to get up and running in about 90 days. I felt daring. I left MGM to take on this new startup opportunity because I really wanted to I didn't want to be encumbered by legacy systems any longer. It's so hard to at least 5 or 6 years ago to embrace the cloud and off-premise solutions when you have these huge conversions and people who are so used to doing things. I embraced it. It was exhilarating to go through and basically get a company, a studio, up and running in 90 days with a full Salesforce, international, domestic, and be able to also implement a content management system at the same time. So I was up for the task. We technically had 780 titles. We had 300 plus development projects, which we are still mining and developing as we speak. We had a total of about almost 14,000 rights in or licensor contracts and licensee contracts. We had contract-related assets to the tune of about 11,000, and we had over about 780,000 metadata attributes with each of our titles. So we had a lot of data, and we had a lot of conversion that we had to go through. Again, when I arrived, they had already selected a tool called FilmTrack, which is they're hosted. It's software as a service, plus their infrastructure is also through, I believe, the Amazon solution. It was affordable, and they were really, really very flexible and willing to work with us as a startup company and sort of design a solution for us, even though they had a base package. And they really wanted to address all of our needs. It was highly configurable, and out of the box, it really addressed about 80% of our requirements. They have a staff that just is groomed and experience based in media. So we didn't have to explain. Like, I've done other implementations for non-media software solutions, and you're constantly explaining to the vendor how your business works. We didn't have to do that with them, so that was one more reason why we were able to get this implemented so quickly. They also, as an afterthought, if any of you have implemented systems, you kind of think about the reports after the fact when you're already up and running and everybody's like, hey, I need an avails report. I need to know this. I need to know that. Well, the beauty of their solution is they're Excel-based reports, and they're configurable, so we ourselves could select additional fields that we needed on the report, rejigger the columns, do whatever we wanted. So it made my life easier, and there wasn't a bottleneck of design or development requirements on the FilmTrack's plate. So that worked out very well as well. So we had, again, so we now have no infrastructure, so we're in the cloud. We have software as a service solution, and now I've got all these remote teams that I had to connect overnight in some cases. I needed a legal team who was in downtown LA of about 25 attorneys. We got them up and running, and we had all of our contract PDFs of our contracts in FilmTrack. They were able to remotely then review all of them to make sure that we absolutely had the rights to sell what we said we were going to sell. I had a team of IT support people. I had 4 engineers, very lean team, and they assisted us. They were provided by the vendors, FilmTrack. They did all the data ingestion and the metadata configuration. I also had a team of about 6 attorneys remotely. They were all over the place, reviewing music clearances, because with digital rights, at least initially, we didn't know if the music was available that went with the film. They too were a remote team. Then I had contract admins, and they were a remote team. I had 5 of them, and they were the ones that were basically going over the contract data in FilmTrack to make sure it was correct, that we had the correct rights and the correct territories where we could sell our IP. Once the design was complete, we in fact configured the dimensions, which is rights, territories, language, and contract types. FilmTrack is now, again, one of the reasons I continue to be happy that they were selected as a solution is they are now adding channel types and languages to their avails logic, which is very important in order to maximize where you can sell the rights. We converted a ton of Disney legacy data. We loaded all of our assets, which I already went over the numbers. We would then QC the data. We would do, for us, if you could report your avails, what you could sell accurately, then that was really how you determined if the data went in there correctly. So we would report the avails, we'd do another QC session, review, and then we finally ended up going live. I would say there was a total of 3 conversions that we went through in less than about 30 days that we went through 3 conversions, getting it all right. We have really been able to empower the Salesforce. Our domestic group, which is in the UK and Australia, and we have also some people in China at this point, they're able to access the system with no problem and run their own availability reports. We don't have to support them on our time zone from the US. Within 90 days, we were able to get the sales teams trained and running their own reports. And we did that through GoToMeetings and WebEx meetings and things such as that. So we didn't have to send oodles of people all over the globe training anyone. We still do most of our support through GoToMeeting or WebEx. Access to accurate real-time data. Once the data's in there, it's immediately accessible to the sales team. It is really our content management system as well. So it's how we also deliver the product to not the full-length feature film, but all the other data goes to our end customers through an extranet portal that FilmTrack has allowed us to use. All the reports are configurable. They're based on our needs. I've been able to, like Australia, they have a different way of looking at things, so I have the same report, but a different presentation for them, and they're happy. And I feel like we have a very confident sales force, and they know that what they can sell is actually what we have rights to. So probably the success factors in retrospect is why we were successful in doing this is it was a very fluid team. We shared daily, and the people who supported us at FilmTrack were very knowledgeable of our industry. We got a lot of input from our creative people and business teams, and we helped capture the nuances of an ever-evolving film industry. And it continues to evolve, and we continue to modify and reconfigure FilmTrack. The proof is really post-go live, there were only very minor tweaks that we had to make with our data and with our configuration. We overthought a lot of things when it comes to things like territory. So we're constantly going back and rejiggering territories and whatnot. And new rights come out as well. Or we didn't define our rights probably in the same way sometimes that the salespeople want to sell them. And to just bring it to the here and now, we have our needs change daily. We are now we were able to now distribute the Revolution titles. So within the last 60 days, we added 42 more titles. We now distribute the Sam Goldwyn library. Those were 64 titles we added. Again, we were up and running with these guys within 30 days. The Morgan Creek was a little more challenging. They have 103 titles. Their metadata and data it's on like PDFs and things like that. So we've had to, comb through PDF data. And we have tools that we use to read through it and sort of find out where all the metadata is. That was 103 titles. We just went live with that within the last couple weeks. Generally, we're able to ingest and start selling new libraries within 30 days after acquisition, which looking back through my career, I think that's pretty phenomenal. We basically have added, with all of these new libraries, we've added 100,000 new assets to our extranet as well. So new content now. Now we want to live on, not just as a library company, but as a new content company. So we have 2 new theatrical releases, one through acquisition, one through our own development. Again, it's all in FilmTrack. We're managing it through that. We have 2 new TV series. Again, distribute everything, and all of our rights are in FilmTrack. And we have 25 new development projects that we are now managing through the Business Affairs module and then FilmTrack as well. So it's a dynamic product that continues to grow with us. They have a sister company called Rights Trade. We now, because Rights Trade sits on top of our metadata, we are now able to distribute all of our screeners to our buyers, including our new content. And it's tracking whether or not they view it, how many times. It allows them to give us feedback. And we didn't have to do an extract or worry about an API to another solution at this point. So again, we're kind of just getting deeper and deeper with our partner here and providing solutions for our business. So what are our current challenges? Honestly, the biggest challenge has been the lack of definition of what assets are out there, like missing metadata, basically. We're looking to work with Amazon to assist us with going back over a couple 100,000 assets to better define what we have so we can continue to monetize clips and stills and things such as that. The whole classification of metadata was very basic for us. We kind of took the Disney data and just loaded it. Now we want to push it down a couple of notches and get a little more granular so that we can really maximize our library. We have a lot of good stuff out there, for things like consumer products and whatnot. So a long term is we want to get new content, of course, but we also want to continue to mine our existing library. And we're using this tool day in and day out to do that. And we only consider cloud solutions. I use that term very, it's just a term that represents every type of cloud solution there is. But I pretty much tell a vendor, if it's not software as a service, it's not a cloud solution, I can't even talk to you, because that's our model. I have a little server room, and the only thing we do on-prem is our Office documents. So we have a NAS device that we store all of our documents on-prem, and then that's backed up. It's really replicated to another facility somewhere in Colorado. But I really only have that on-prem, and that's the way we want to continue. So how do we keep up with the Salesforce? The contract management solution has grown with us since 2010. We are happy that more and more customers are going to the solution because we're benefiting from it. CBS signed up. They're very episodic intense. So we're capitalizing on all the new enhancements that have come with that. We're better able to manage our short avails windows. Like some things don't even go theatrical anymore. They go straight to, video on demand. So we have these little windows that the report shows us when they're available. We're better able to manage restrictions and holdbacks. We're now having to, we found out we were maybe selling to some countries that are, under embargoes. So we're able to go in and isolate those and oops. Then we are also looking, I would say if there's an area that this provider needs to work on, and to your point, I need APIs, okay? They're not the only game in town. I love them, but I need APIs. I need to be able to talk to other solutions. I need clean APIs. So that, I know they're working on that, and it's really the future as far as I'm concerned, because it'll be able to allow you, all of your different cloud solutions hopefully will be able to talk and play nicely with each other. And I'm just looking for more data ingestion tools, because we not only grow with new content, but we grow with new libraries. And, for us to have to get that data in when the salespeople are breathing down our necks, is it available? Can I sell it? What assets do I have? It's like I got to get a lot of people right now to just like interns that we pay, and they have to key in the data. So that I would like to see some more data ingestion tools. So that we can keep up with the Salesforce. Basically, that's my presentation, and if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
You talked about using the simple metadata coming from Disney. What kind of areas are you looking at right now to expand that into that you think will help improve revenue?
Well, just the classification of things like Uma Thurman in a yellow dress, or really getting in all car chase scenes. All film that has crying in it or laughing, or so those kinds of classifications we're looking to do. And I'm not Amazon Turk services.
Mechanical Turk.
Yeah, Mechanical Turk. That's an odd name, but whatever. It's like whatever. The Turks I remember from history class, being kind of crazy, taking over. But it's really, they have like these experts all over the world that you can, for pennies, be able to go in and have them do the classification of your data. I guess they did it for Vanity Fair, and it was a very successful project. So we're looking to utilize that workforce out there that's already accustomed to media and knowing what to look at. So, yeah. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate it.